what's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Got two reviews for you today. I got the review for Flash and Moon Knight. So, but as you can see, this is the Flash. So this is the review for season 8, episode 9, Phantoms. Now, Phantoms, I just said just a little bit before I give you the synopsis. Phantoms refer to more than maybe a couple of people. But let's go into the synopsis. Barry and Team Flash get closer to figuring out the fire meta, but are no closer to finding him. Iris, in need of a distraction, follows a story to Coast City. So, Phantoms, like I said before, refers to more than one person. Basically, we could start it off with like Iris. I think that's what the episode actually starts off with. I could be wrong, but hopefully I am, because I don't really want to spoil things. But yeah, we start off with Iris because she needs a distraction. And what she needs a distraction from is the fact of her time sickness, or the reemergence of her time sickness. Because you remember from the previous ongoings in season 7 and a little bit of, in the crossovers at the beginning of this season, Iris was going through a time sickness where she was basically phasing in and out of time. And it looked like Dion's treatments worked and it killed her, but now she's dealing with some type of new version of it, where now instead of her phasing in and out of time, it looked like she's just losing time. Because as we saw in the previous episodes, like when she was had that dinner with Joe, like she was talking about getting ready to make her little, to go stuff, and all of a sudden the dinner stuff started disappearing from the table and whatnot. And now she's clarified it in this episode. It's like she's having blackouts. Apparently, she thinks she's having blackouts because she see it disappear, but she doesn't remember what she said, because she explained to Dion that that she had a dinner with Joe, and all she remembers was telling him that she was getting ready to make her to go play, and him going upstairs. But then he comes from the door from the garage with some old case files, and she said she don't, she's telling him it must be blackouts, but she don't even remember telling him that. She said she's losing track of time, having blackouts. Dion scanning her over at first. Initially thinking she was good till he found a new mutation, and then he said they're gonna try to figure out, him and the other forces gonna try to figure out what it is, and he'll find her no matter where she is. So, in the need of distraction, cue in Sue Dearborn, and Sue Dearborn it comes with a unique story to Iris, telling her about this meta in Coast City, who could be the next Flash, basically, because this is like opening the floodgates now for the fact that basically they just found out that there are metas, not that they don't know there's metas around the world, but now they know that there are metas with dark matter in them that's never lived in Central City. So they're trying to figure out how. I think there was like a talk about how they must have like latent meta genes or something. Like it almost make it sound like they had dark matter passed down to them, because maybe it was somebody who did get affected with the dark matter particles, and then they moved out of Central City and started a family, and now that said family had a child, and that child could possibly have traces of dark matter, the dark matter gene that allows them to give you the powers. And they was, as they was figuring this out, they figured out how it was a trigger for it. Like these latent metahumans are triggering their powers through some type of emotional type state. So with this notion, Iris goes to Coast City to seek out this story. Now, shifting over to the Barry side, the other Phantom of this episode, and this deal with the Black Flame. And I guess that's what they for right now. That's what it's being called, Black Flame. But they're still like they're still trying to figure out how to stop this meta because every time the meta kills somebody, there's no traces of the meta being nobody being there, and the flame burns with cold fusion. So they're trying to figure out how is this possible, and now I mean it does bring to light. Once you see this episode, you think it's like, okay, so that's how Ronnie's gonna come back. I believe that's how Ronnie's gonna come back. Cause the dude who played Ronnie Raymond, Caitlin's ex fiance, he's supposed to be making an appearance. And now, when you see this episode and see what the Black Flame can do, you be like, that's probably how they're gonna bring him back. But Eddie Thong the dude who played Eddie Thong is supposed to be coming back for some more episodes this season as well. But back to the episode, I digress. They trying to figure it out, and they from the latest victim, they capture a little bit of the Black Flame, and Chester is starting to deal. Chester is dealing with some things, some grief, and when you watch the episode, remember that word grief because it's a very important part of the story, and basically the team eventually pick up on it. And it's a key. His grief is a key factor. Like I said, it's a key factor into the story with Black Flame. The Black Flame does attack both Chester and Team Flash, and they quickly deduce, thanks to Cecile, with the help of Cecile, they quickly deduce at least part of the solution or the part of the mystery with the Black Flame. And they was able to not stop it, but stop it just temporarily. It was an interesting arc for it. Like this, I didn't expect this episode to have that much of Chester. Like he was like almost the main person. Like Flash was there obviously, but he was like the main focus of the episode, and you will see why. Like I said, that and he's like he fit in with this because you saw it in the trailer, so I'm like, okay, he's going to have some role in this, but he had the role in it because it was like him and the Flash and Allegra and everybody basically had to corral themselves around Chester because he was a key part into figuring out this mystery. And it was also like a cool development story for Chester. He learned a lesson, not like he needed to be taught a lesson, but he learned something that what he have in common with Team Flash, and that they're more of a family than he think they are. But and he dealt with some grief himself. Above all, this was a good episode. This was a very good episode. It's part of the main story, the next chapter, or story arc, whatever they like to call it. It was a good story. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it that much once I realized it was going to have a lot of Chester. But then once the way how they play it out, I'm like, hey, I'm actually enjoying myself. This is actually kind of good. I found myself thoroughly invested for the first time in a long time in Allegra and Chester's love story and this story that they had for Chester in this episode. So with that being said, I mean, I don't know maybe I didn't like that the lack of information was going on with Iris. Like I don't know. It's like they dragging out just a little bit too long without giving us at least a hint to what's going on. Like at least tell us something, like a clue or something of what could possibly be going on. A theory. But yeah, maybe that's the only thing I didn't like. But otherwise, the episode was good. I love the little development story that Iris found this new hero, possible hero. I forgot the girl's name, but she got the power to phase through walls. Yeah, other than my little nitpick about them not telling us a little bit more about it, dragging on just a little bit more. The episode was good. I give it an 8 out of 10 big ups just because it was a good episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and this was a good Chester P. story arc plus episode. I would say this before I let y'all go off this video. I would say this about the Chester stuff. A lot of people criticize Chester and his story arc. This episode, for me at least, we did something to make me care about it now, because it gave Chester this much needed character development, and now I'm actually just a lot more invested into Chester and Allegra than I was before. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, then you hit that button right there in the upper right corner for all of my reviews. And if you enjoyed this review so much you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, and do all those great things, because it lets me know if you want to see more videos like this, and it helps me, it helps the channel. And as always, hit one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go anywhere, because I got that Moon Knight review coming, and eventually Morbius. And I've been seeing the reviews for Morbius, and it ain't good. Peace out.